the report came out. This is a Forbes report, came out about top 10 countries to invest in Africa in 2024. I myself have invested in transportation company, and it's just amazing. The return is just amazing. I have a transportation company where people come and rent my buses, either for funeral, either for parties, either for wedding, for whatever they want to do, they come and get my buses. I make sure my buses have Wi-Fi. I make sure my buses have air conditioning, like really good and clean. So I invest in this and the return is just amazing. I don't have to really hustle. I can be in the US and the company works just fine. So there are so many things you can do in Africa as far as investment. If you are looking into investing, look into construction material. It's amazing. The profit is huge. And if you have like a capital, you have a little bit saving, you can actually do like a cement company. Cement company has a huge return. The cement business I gave you is just an example. Some people basically are into construction material. There's various type of construction material you can sell and make a lot of money, a lot of huge return on investment. And if you say, you know what, I don't have the capital of like starting a cement factory, you can actually look into food processing. There's a lot of people that I know, they are making tons of money into food processing. Could be either making juices, could be a lot of things you can do. There's also, if you say, you know what, I'm into startup, then look into online businesses. Kenya has a hub. There's so much options, so much opportunity, you won't believe it in Africa. It's just amazing. Other business that never ever go wrong in Africa is real estate. Real estate in Africa really never go wrong. It doesn't matter where you are. Either you invest in Gambia, you do it in Senegal, you do it in South Africa, DRC, you go to Egypt, Morocco. Real estate in Africa is amazing and is booming. Farming is booming. And if you don't want to do it, Chinese are doing it. They are investing heavily in Africa. For really long, they've been doing it. Indian are investing in Africa. European are investing in Africa. And I think, for those who are really serious, they want to make money, they can really look into Africa. But there is something I wanted to say here. You have to stay. Make sure that you come to Africa before you do your investment. You have to come visit and also connect with people. Make sure that you can't just come like with this US or European mentality and say, you know what, I'm gonna have a job opening, either publish it online or on the paper or say it on the media, and people come in and you start selecting who's gonna be this, who's gonna be that. No, you have to come in and connect with really trustworthy person who you can really give this. And most of the time I say this is my experience. There's a lot of groups of experts on Facebook and other social media where you can connect with people really professional, and they can actually give you referrals of people who might help you to come up and really start your business. You wanna make sure that you work with local. Don't just come in here and say, I'm gonna start hiring people and this is how I'm gonna do it. No, in Africa, you really have to find a person, a trustworthy person. Number one on this list is Egypt. Egypt has actually made it number one, and I think it's for several reasons. Egypt, you find a lot of people speaking English. You found also French speaking. You also found Arabic speaking, and also the location. Egypt is really at the right spot. It's not far from Europe, not far from Asia, not far from the Middle East. It's just really amazing. You can also get a real estate. If you're looking into resident permits, if you get a real estate, you can get a resident permit and eventually get a Egyptian passport. Egyptian passport, unfortunately, is not the strongest passport. I can say it's a tier C passport, but you'll get a citizenship if you can invest in a property, buy a property, and you're good to go. Now, Egypt's real estate is booming. If you look into Alexandria, and I'll tell you, if you look into, because what you want to do in Egypt, they have a lot of tourism industry going on. So if you are looking into like let's say for instance Cairo, you can get a property and do it, make it an Airbnb and make a lot of money. And if it doesn't work, you can always sell this property and get your money back. Looking into different other businesses, there are so much options in Morocco. You have a lot of options, but most importantly, Morocco is very stable. Really stable. You can get a beautiful, beautiful home, next to the beach. Morocco is really a good country, and again, because of stability, Morocco is very stable. You won't hear Morocco at war. You won't hear Morocco, stuff going on, crazy stuff going on. So Morocco is really a good place and good people. Again, they speak French and Arabic, and they also have other languages that they speak, but Morocco is really a good country. Number 3 on the list is basically South Africa. South Africa is a well-developed country. You won't see any difference between Europe and Cape Town or Europe and Durban. So it's really developed country. And you have options. You have cities like Cape Town where you can invest in real estate. You have real estate in Cape Town. It could be very, very expensive. That's one thing. You can also invest in real estate, let's say in Pretoria, or you can look into Durban. So you have a lot of options. The only downside of South Africa is this, racism going on. Like there's a time they didn't like foreigner, and that was like a concern. So that's really a downside of South Africa. And number 4 on this list is Kenya. Kenya is number 4, and Kenya is really an interesting country for those who really are looking into investing in Africa. Really interesting, is growing rapidly, is developing rapidly, is just amazing. People in Kenya are really good people. Every time I go in Kenya, I feel like I'm home. Kenya has a really huge tech hub, like the African tech hub. And you have so much options in Kenya. You can either go into construction, you can go into farming, you can really go into whatever you feel you want to go into, you can go into and be successful, because Kenya has a huge market where you actually have a market. Tanzania, you can save Tanzania, you can save Rwanda, you can save Uganda, so you can save these countries next to Kenya, even you can save DRC. So Kenya is really, really interesting. Interestingly enough, is Rwanda at number 5. Now Rwanda came number 5 and is the fastest growing economy. Basically, a lot of people refer to Rwanda as the Singapore of Africa. It's like really, really a good country. They've done so much developing this country. I mean, Rwanda is amazing. It's really, really good. It's the safest, cleanest country in Africa. And it's well organized. Corruption is almost none. So Rwanda is really good. And opening a business in Rwanda is very, very easy. If you want to start up a business, very, very easy. And the government actually have a way to help you set up, and they can tell you, look, you want to invest, this is the place they give you basically advice and areas you can invest so you don't go ahead and mess up or, make mistakes. And it's just really good. And to receive a resident permit in Rwanda is really, really easy. You won't get a passport, but resident permit, very easy. The other thing about Rwanda is that if you are looking into, let's say, starting a tech company, you can start a tech company. There's a lot of areas where you can start, like shipping business, where I see a lot of companies actually opening, and they have really, really hard time having, the ways or means to ship this stuff from their warehouse to the people. So you can start like a tech company. You can, Rwanda you're looking into also, a lot of agriculture is going on, a lot of farming going on, and people actually shipping stuff to other countries. Their produce are being shipped to Saudi Arabia and, Middle East. It's just amazing. And it's something, if you are looking into investing, you can either invest in an existing company, or you might, if you really want to go and dive and start it all fresh, you have those options. Something that I noticed on the list was missing was Botswana, was Mauritius Island, was Tanzania. And my opinion, going to Botswana, Tanzania, is just amazing. You see how expats and local people are really striving in business, and how the country is really well organized. Like for instance, Botswana is really developed. Infrastructure is there. Internet is really, really good. You actually have the same service, a broadband service, same service as the US, Canada, and Europe have, and it's a monthly service. So Botswana is really developed, but unfortunately is not here. And Botswana, they speak English, and the country is really, really good. They're fighting corruption, and unfortunately is not on the list. Number 6 on the list is Ghana. Ghana is really an interesting place. Most people know about Ghana, so there's really not much to talk about here, but Real estate in Ghana is really amazing. People looking into farming. And again, if you are looking into Accra real estate could be really, really expensive. But if you can manage to get a nice spot, you might get it, make it an Airbnb and you're good to go. You can actually look into investing into real estate or investing into farming, and you'll do just really great in Ghana. And the other place is Ivory Coast. I never saw Ivory Coast before on the list, but it made it on the list, and it's basically number 7. Ivory Coast, what is really happening there? They have farming is booming, they have real estate is booming, and the market is really there. Some reports is basically placing Nigeria at number 1, number 2. And I think Nigeria is really an interesting place for business, especially if you are looking into manufacturing, like food processing, looking into real estate. The only issue with downside with Nigeria, I think, is systemic, corruption. Is just crazy, corruption is just crazy. It's really systemic issues, and they really have a way to go. They have to fight this to bring this corruption down. But beside Nigeria is really, really a nice place. And I can say a lot of countries in Africa, they are corrupt, forget it. And not just Africa, South America, Asia, there are a lot of countries that are corrupt. But some other countries are really doing, and they're going on the right direction. We talk about Botswana, we talk about Namibia, we talk about Rwanda. They're really, really good projection. We talk about Morocco. You won't hear so much systemic corruption. It's there, but it's not really as systemic as it is in some other country. And I'm sorry to my people from Nigeria, but this is the truth. There's so much systemic issues with Nigeria. Corruption is just way open, just like DRC is so corrupt, unfortunately. And number 9 on the list is Ethiopia. Ethiopia basically is number 9, and many countries are investing in Ethiopia, including the Chinese. The Indians are investing in Ethiopia. And if you are really looking into a country, Ethiopia is a place that, you might want to look into. And if you don't do it, the Chinese will do it, the Indian will do it. And it might be too late. By the time you say, what, I'm ready to do it, I'm ready to go and, invest in Ethiopia, it might be too late. So now is the time. Tunisia made it number 10, and they basically put up the report stating that Tunisia is really an easy country, easy to set up a business, and also no bureaucracy, not so much bureaucracy, really, really easy. And you can actually get a resident permit in Tunisia very, very easy. It's not really crazy like many other countries. So if you are looking into investing in Africa, give Africa a chance. And Africa has so much options. We're talking from farming. We're talking from, if you want to bring goods from China or other country, you make a lot of money. I have people basically making tons of money in electronic. They bring cell phones from China, electronics, selling them in Africa, and they're making tons of money. If you have a little bit capital, you can start this and start making money. Africa gives you a lot of options, and you can either come and start afresh, or you can go and invest in an existing company. So this is what really Africa gives you. If there's anything you feel I didn't talk about, you can go ahead and comment. That would be great. Again, I'm Luke. I'm an immigration attorney. We have helped a lot of people move legally to the US, obtain a green card, and eventually become US citizen. We also help a lot of people to obtain their second passport, a passport based on investment. This passport which allow them to travel the world. They can actually pass this passport to their spouse and children. So if you are really interested, feel free to contact